Mental health in a state agency. Today I'm joined by Toby Leek, who is the Propertymark president for the National Association of Estate Agents. Toby, talk to me about mental health in a state and letting agency.
Mental health is obviously a big thing over recent years, and I think sometimes people dismiss it too freely. But having said that, I caveat that sometimes it's very difficult to see it as well. I think there is more that needs to be done in the industry across the broad spectrum of it all. It is at times highly stressful, very busy. You know, sometimes you just sort of you're whizzing around. You go from.
If you think about it, we get. My heart goes out to negotiators. That the average negotiator gets paid 50p per hour more. Average negotiator gets paid 50p per hour more than the minimum wage.
Yeah.
And our job is to be shouted at all day.
And some of these targets and sort of, constant targets of this, that and the other all the time, continuously, when you think about it, it can be hugely stressful. And if, you haven't hit target for that month, then that doubles up the next month. And all of a sudden, you're doing twice as much work, trying to make that difference. But actually, your stress is building up and your anxiety is building up.
Have you suffered from stress yourself?
I have, yeah. Yeah, stress and anxiety I have done in the past. And so I know exactly what it's like. And I'll give you that example I gave was actually very much a personal one. I was I missed target for a month or maybe 2 months, and of course you fret because you're not earning money. You've still got bills to pay. That your company doesn't worry about that so much. You've still got bills to pay personally, but the company's giving you some pressure to do this, to do that, make these calls, take these viewings. And it builds up if you're not doing that. So not only are you worried about your finances at home, you're then also worried about not performing at work and doing what you're paid to do. And
is that when you were working for a corporate?
It was a corporate, yeah. And I can laugh about it now, but actually it wasn't particularly funny. But there was a couple of months where I was just sort of I was off commission, so I was getting a bit stressed, and I was tired as well because you end up doing later viewings to get see whether that one will be the deal. And then I was driving to work, and I thought, gosh, these roads are really quiet this morning. And then I realised that the radio station, it was a different presenter. I thought, why is he on today? And I was just sort of on autopilot, driving down the motorway, and it was a Sunday. Because I was just thinking, got to get another deal, got to get a deal, got to start selling, got to start selling.
How did you get out of that hole? And what did your other half say?
My other half is fantastic when it comes to this. She's not in the industry, but she does have the ability to be able to understand what I'm going through and see it. I would say that I'm fairly good at talking about it, but I also think there's an element of I don't talk about it enough. She knows me well enough now. That particular instance wasn't when she was on the scene, but at that time I didn't deal with it very well. I was young.
How did you get out of it?
Well, I actually sort of came out of it. I wouldn't say that I got out of it through doing anything. I just was fortunate enough to come out of it. And that therein lies my point. That shouldn't have been the case. There should have been someone saying, listen, keep your chin up, or whatever it might be. There should be someone available. And I don't mean just that company.
Okay, do you think your area manager could have dealt with it differently? Or is there a kind of a macho attitude that we're bloody estate agents? We eat barbed wire and get on with it.
I think there's an element of that.
Suck it up, pussy.
Well, yeah, but I think there's an element of that. But I would say that also that falls to me as well. It's like, oh no, I'll just get on with it. I'll just carry on.
Okay.
Maybe it's a male thing.
Because people don't like weakness. They don't like to show vulnerability, especially males.
Yeah. And so there's an element, and I'll hold my hands up. There's probably an element of me not wanting to go and seek help, thinking, oh, I'll just get through this. I'll keep going. It'll change.
Well, how would you have done it different? How would have you done it differently? With hindsight,
I think now I'm a lot older and I've been in the industry a lot more. I think now I'd be aware and I'd ask for help, or I'd certainly start doing things myself personally to get me out of that situation rather than just plough through it and hope I get through it. Because I'm lucky I came out of it. It could have kept on going, which would have been miserable.
What would your final message be to anyone who's going through stress at the moment?
Speak to someone. honestly speak to someone. There's absolutely no harm in speaking to someone, whether it's group like agents together, or whether it's an individual person at your company, or even outside your company. I would strongly suggest, don't be too proud. Go and speak to someone, because you might find that that changes it, and all of a sudden things take a different path and you're back where you were.
Thank you for your time today, Toby.
Thanks.